What's going on, guys? My name is Age, and today I wanted to talk a little bit about Liberty Falls, what we saw at COD Next, and kind of address the general sentiment and the opinions of what seems to be the majority of people. Just talk a little bit about what people are saying about the map, as well as voicing my own opinions and bringing up a couple of important points that I feel like we should be thinking about as a community in relation to this map and how it was showcased to us at COD Next. So from what it seems like most people didn't really like how the map looked initially. I feel like I'm seeing a lot of negative comments, a lot of negative, just kind of super detrimental comments about, it's over, canceling my pre-order, waste of money, a lot of strong opinions. So, and for the most part, I feel like a lot of the opinions that people have can be justifiable to some degree. I feel like a lot of the opinions that I'm seeing online are pretty valid to some extent, However, there are some people that are going to the extreme and just completely writing this map off from the get-go and not giving it a chance, and I just feel like that's not the right way of going about these things. And I guess I just wanted to sort of give my opinion and bring up a couple points, and I guess sort of make people think about these points that I'm about to bring up before they completely write off Liberty Falls as a complete failure of a map on Treyarch's part. My first point that I want to bring up is that the way that Treyarch, or not necessarily Treyarch, because I have a feeling that the way that this COD Next was set up and organized, obviously the team behind Zombies has little say about it. I'm positive. I have a feeling that it's more about getting Warzone shown off and the new multiplayer, and a lot less about Zombies. I feel like that's just how it's naturally been for the longest time, for Zombies at least. And part of me saying that is to try to bring this idea that I feel like the way that they presented Liberty Falls at COD Next was completely just backfired on them, I think. Because I feel like what they wanted to do was, I feel like the way that they showcased and the way they went about teasing this map, and then the marketing that they did for it, and then the way that it actually was showcased at the event, those two things just don't correlate, there just feels like something's missing from what we saw at COD Next, and I think that's just part of the grand scheme of the point that I'm trying to make about this video, which, I feel like there's a lot of copium going on here in this video, because I want this game to be good, and I feel like I just have this weird feeling about what we saw at COD Next, and it just doesn't make sense. I just feel like there's a lot of things that we saw that just don't make sense in relation to what and how they've been marketing this map. Have they been just marketing Zombies since, we've seen Terminus and stuff? So this is one of my theories. One of my theories that I have here for why I think this Liberty Falls ended up looking so lackluster, and I hope that this theory ends up being proven right. And if not, then, there's not really much I can say. It's just the worst timeline, I guess, achieved. My theory is that this build of Liberty Falls that we saw at COD Next is a stripped down, or even like a basic version of what we're supposed to be getting. The devs did say that the Easter eggs are all turned off because they didn't want any spoilers or anything like that. So I think that Treyarch, what they were trying to go for here, which maybe it just wasn't received in the way that they wanted to, was that they want to make this map seem like there's more than meets the eye from this initial showcase at COD Next. And I think the way that they were doing that is by making this showcase of Liberty Falls a super bare bones rundown of it, I guess. Even though the map is itself simple, because it does look simple, right? It's not the size of Terminus, and the devs have said it themselves before that this map is going to be smaller. It's going to be the second map. So I think, in my opinion, that they not only have this limited content in the Liberty Falls itself because of the way that they've set it up for COD Next, but it inherently itself is just a simple map compared to something like Terminus. So it's like doubling down on the simplicity, because I feel like Treyarch knows that the people that are going to be playing this game at COD Next are the majority of them are not zombies like content creators, you know. A lot of them are content creators that focus on multiplayer and Warzone, and you know, that's whether you like it or not. That's what the majority of people are there at COD NEXT for, is to see the new Warzone, you know. That's what sells. That's what makes Activision the money. So that being said, this, I guess I want to call it the streamer version, the casual version of Liberty Falls, is what I feel like we saw at COD NEXT. And Liberty Falls being a simple map already doesn't help its case, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And I feel like that's why people feel so strongly about why it seems so lackluster, I guess, for lack of better term. Okay, so the second point that I want to address is the I guess this has to do with the Easter egg as well, and it not being activated or not. I feel like, fuck, each of my points all kind of have to do with each other, so it's like, it seems like I'm saying like this point and that point, but it's all like the same point. I guess what I'm trying to make is that the marketing for this map had us watch, like, we saw Richtofen and the Wonderwaff and his operation and Project Janus and Samantha and all this, and we didn't see any of that at all at the COD NEXT event. We didn't see the Wonderwaff in the mystery box. We didn't see anything, you know, which further makes me think that there's like something seriously missing about what we saw, you know, at COD NEXT. Like, there has to be a significant portion of this map that is not being shown off, and I feel like it's done on purpose. And the fact that it's being done on purpose is even worse, because it's like, I feel like Treyarch just, like, they set themselves up, or the way that the zombies showcase happened is just, they set it up to fail just from the start, man. Like, anyways, no Wonderwaff, no Samantha, no magic ball that Samantha's trapped in with the Forsaken or whatever, no underground portion of the map. We didn't see any of that. And so, I don't know, that just starts getting the gears turning and maybe making me think that maybe we didn't see everything that this map has to offer necessarily. And that's obvious, right? Because the Easter eggs are turned off, all of the side Easter eggs, and the main quest. Like, Liberty Falls is going to have a main quest, right? It's going to have a main quest, maybe not as expansive or massive as what Terminus is going to be like, right? But it's still going to have its own thing. So I want, like, people to think about that and not write off this map as just being like what we saw at COD NEXT. And it's really hard not to do that, right? Because it's so bad. I think it's really bad the way that this map was shown off, dude. Because I feel like the casual player is going to take one look at this map and just, well, not the casual player. I feel like someone who's not like, who just looks at this mode, right? And sees it, it just doesn't look very fun compared to like what we saw in Terminus, you know. Like, if they showed us, and I was watching this with I was watching COD NEXT on Mr. Raffle Waffle stream, and he's made a great point too, and he said, if this is the map that Treyarch had shown first instead of Terminus, like, I don't think there'd be any hype for this game the way that there was when Terminus dropped and people were saying, we're so back, man, this is it, man, we're so back, you know. And now we look at this and it's like, oh, GG's, you know, there goes my 70. So I think that a lot of the opinions that are being made here about the map are justified, but to not completely, you know, not to the fullest extent, because I feel like there's more there. I feel like there's more. There are more variables to this than I feel like people are taking into account, and unfortunately that's not up to the consumer to work out. You know, these are things that Treyarch and the Activision should have thought about when they were showing this map off, and I feel like the way that they went through it just backfired completely. It just backfired because they decided to make this such a simple look at the zombies map, you know. And I understand, you know, no spoilers, but they made this map look like Nuketown Zombies, you know? Like Nuketown Zombies with Cold War Outbreak UI, which is not looking good, man. But yeah, I guess that wraps up my third point. And, you know, just think about it, you know. I think that a lot of people initially, you know, and I did too. I initially, when I first saw this map, and was watching Mr. Dalek play through it and all the other streamers play it, I just found myself honestly just hoping that there is more, you know? Like, you're watching them play and you're like, okay, but I want this, you know? Like, I want there to be more of this, or I don't know how to explain it, but it's like, I just don't think that the game that we saw at COD Next is gonna be the same experience, you know, the same experience that we get for launch. That being said, I don't think, hold on, actually, let me run back to this other thing. This is kind of like a counterpoint, I guess. This is like a counterpoint to what I'm trying to say, which is more, I guess, on like the negative side of things, which is this idea that what we did see, right? Let's just, you know, say that the worst is the case and what we did see is that's it, you know, that's what Liberty Falls is. You know, there's not a lot of there, you know, if like people hating on them, like, what am I trying to say here? Popular opinion that I'm seeing right now is that this map has zero aura, zero zombies vibe to it. And, you know, I see a lot of people, you know, hoping that the devs are gonna do something about this by the time the game comes out, you know, change the lighting, make it nighttime, add more of this and that to make it look more zombies. And, you know, from what a lot of the players and streamers are saying is that this game is in alpha. It's an alpha build. Like, this isn't even the beta, according to a lot of the streamers that I heard. I may be wrong, but I heard streamers say that this is an alpha version of Black Ops 6, and there was a lot of issues with this build that I noticed that people were commenting about, such as the game crashing when you try to pause. I saw a PC streamer try to change his keybinds, and then all of his keybinds broke, and the managers, the event managers there were telling him, don't change your keybinds, you know, this kind of stuff. Like, this build, you can't change your G on your keyboard or else it breaks. But that being said, just because this game might have been in an alpha state, this build, that doesn't mean that this game necessarily is going to change drastically just because people are complaining about how it looks by the end of, you know, by the time it comes out. And I don't think it will, because I'm really hoping that, like I said before, that there's gonna be a lot more to this map than what we saw at COD Next. And I think that the general theme, I think, and this is some schizo, all right, this is going to be my schizo, my magnum opus schizo thought about this whole thing, is that I have this theory about the contrast of night and day and this map, and I think that we only saw one side of the coin to this map, and it's the day, right? It's the daytime, and that's why it's supposed to be deceptive, I guess, in a way. Deceptively clean, because I feel like we just haven't seen the underside of this map, which goes hand in hand with what I'm saying of we haven't seen anything to do with the Easter egg, which I feel like, who knows, you know, maybe you unlock a underground portion of the map, kind of like Alpha Omega. I see some people comparing it to Alpha Omega, you know, like the Nuketown zombies. Like, this could very well be that, you know, like, we're just on the surface right now. And I think that once this map comes out, I really do think that people are going to appreciate this map, because I feel like it's going to have a lot more than people think. Even if Liberty Falls comes out and it's exactly what we saw at COD Next, I feel like this map still has a purpose in the grand scheme of Black Ops 6 as a zombies map, and some people may argue against it, but I think that every single like zombies experience needs to have like a toned down map. Like, think about like in Black Ops 2 you have your transit, you know, if you don't want to play transit and have to do all of the stuff in transit like every single time, you just play town, you know, like. And the majority of people who played Black Ops 2 that I know, they just played town instead of anything else. Even after the DLC maps came out, you know, even after it was just transit, it's like people just played town because they like that experience of just being able to do that, you know. And I feel like it'll be even more necessary now that Black Ops 6 is a modern Call of Duty with an extensive camo grind that I know people are going to be figuring out a way to farm figuring out the fastest way to farm those zombie camos. So that's my, I guess that's my final point of this video, and kind of wraps up the whole thing of just me saying that don't write this map off just yet, just because of what we saw. And unfortunately, what we did saw, I can say, is, I think in general, like, disappointing to the general audience. Like, I have to agree, because I kind of felt that too, you know, not gonna lie. But I just can't help but feel like we're missing something here, you know, and it doesn't sit right with me. And yeah, just had to get my opinions out there, because I was just thinking about it like all day since I saw it at COD NEXT, and just seeing people's opinions about it online and stuff. And, you know, in case there's anyone out there who is, you know, this is keeping them up at night like it is for me. So, alright, man, it's 3:20 a.m. in the morning, and I'm recording this video the day after COD NEXT, just because I felt like I needed to just get my opinion out there. I guess that wraps up what I had to say about Liberty Falls. If you guys enjoyed listening to me and what I have to say, then I would really appreciate if you guys would just drop a like and a subscribe if you feel like, and if you feel like you want to hear more about what I have to say, then, you know, consider hitting that subscribe. So, well, I guess that's it. Thank you guys for listening, and have a awesome rest of your day. Have an awesome rest of your night, and night or day, and fuck, I feel like I just don't know what I'm talking about now. Let's see. I talked about the Easter egg, talked about the Easter egg. What else? The map, the simplicity, blah, 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 the pack a punch.